Hi folks, how are you doing? Let us see some games from the ninth round of the Tromsø chess Olympiad. And I wanted to start by the game between Etienne Bacrot from France and Victor Laznicka. I think that's it, how it is pronounced correctly, from Czech Republic. And I think this is a very beautiful game. Sometimes these games are not that, do not get all the attention they deserve. There is not Magnus Carlsen playing, etc. But this is a precious game, I think. And we have very strong players. Bacrot 27, 20, Laznicka almost 2700 GM. And here we're gonna see in a very instructive way some positional, really beautiful maneuvers, positional, and finally some tactics, little beautiful tactics. Really a very nice game. I think you'll agree with me if you see whole the game. Let's go. Bacrot plays 1d4. And we reach a Slav defense. Knight to c3, knight to f6, and e3. We have the quiet and the slow variation of the Slav. Laznicka plays a6. The a6 Slav, really a good option, where lots of positional complications. They are unbalanced positions. Bacrot plays knight f3. b5 is what usually black tries to do in these a6 Slavs. d3, and now after the move bishop g4, the commentator on chess24.com, Jan Gustafsson, a huge expert on 1d4 openings, was surprised by the move Bacrot plays here, as it's not very popular. Bacrot plays queen to c2. The most popular choices here are to play bishop e2, very logical, and also h3, asking explanations to this bishop right away. But queen c2, okay, it's just developing the queen. Doesn't seem any silly move at all. It's just not that common, but there are some players who have tried it. Kramnik among others, and the Spaniard Julian Arizmendi as well sometimes. Laznicka here could have taken, which I think was a decent option here. After g takes s3, White's pawn structure is a little bit ruined, but he has the open g file, the bishop pair, and the potential e4, I think, to compensate for the broken pawn structure. And I'd rather have White, I think, here. It's a position with lots of potential. Of course, Black is standing very solid, but I think it's interesting to play with White here. Cool position. But instead, Laznicka chose the very solid e6 move. Now knight to e5 seems logical, following Kramnik Ivanchuk so far from Tal Memorial 2011. And bishop f5 seems logical as well. Now bishop d3, bishop takes, and Bacrot captures with the knight, having a couple of very interesting and active knights here, controlling almost each and every central square. Here some exchanges happen on c4, and momentarily Black wins a pawn, but of course he's ruining his pawn structure on the queen side, having 3 pawn island, which rather would be on red because they are not looking that great. Knight to e5, and of course White is going to recover his pawn quite easily. Now he's attacking c6, he's attacking c4. Black keeps developing, so does White. He just castles. I just like the way Bacrot plays this game. Very simple moves, very effective ones as well, so really kind of like his style, I think. Queen to c7, and so Bacrot doesn't want to keep the tension here with the knight and the queen attacking his knight on e5. He takes on d7, takes here, and he goes knight e4. The other knight comes in, controlling dark squares, and he's now targeting c4 with the queen. Laznicka makes some effort to defend it, although I think its main priority would go with the knight to the d5 square, centralizing it. Now simple moves, rook b1, taking the open file, bishop to e7, and Bacrot is going for the pawn, he wants it back. Knight to d2, there is no way of keeping that one protected anymore, so black very wisely just castles, and Bacrot takes here, and the knights are exchanged. Now we have a fairly simple middle game in which white has a clear target on c6, and it may not seem as but white is also having a couple of central pawns, d and e, which are going to be very important, as we're going to see. So now it follows the positional and the very interesting and instructive phase of the game. Rook fc8, of course, black feels that this is the weakness he has to protect, and white constructs a very strong pawn center now with e4 and d4. Black tries to get rid of his weakness with c5, which is in general a very good decision, but it is allowing white to create a passed pawn with d5. After the exchanges, white has a passed pawn, which may be strong or may be weak, but if protected adequately, it is going to be an interesting, very interesting factor in white's favor. Bishop to d6, it's blocking it, it's attacking h2, g3, now queen to a5. Black queen tries to be a little bit active. Bacrot plays really simple moves but very effective. Rook to d1 to the important d file supporting the pawn. Rook a b8, and he plays bishop to e3, connecting the rooks. Now here white is slightly better. Black is, I think, holding more or less, although it's not very comfortable sometimes. But passive defense is sometimes not very easy, not very comfortable psychologically. So black tries something aggressive, tries to get some counter chances with h5. Not a bad practical choice, I guess. Bacrot just plays king g2, solidifying his kingside position. Rook to e8. Now this bishop is improving, attacking the queen first with from d2, queen a3, and now an interesting maneuver follows. Rook takes on b8, rook takes on b8, bishop c3, and really neutralizing all the control black has, in fact, of this open file. Now this rook is on the open file but cannot go neither to b4, b3, b2, b1, so it's not a great deal, and this is a very instructive way of fighting for open files in this phase of the game. I really like the way Bacrot plays here. Now this rook is not doing that much on the open file, so black tries to get the other open file. He goes to e8, but now white's plan is really an easy one, but it's executed on a very complicated way, I think. He wants to take the e file. Now Bacrot is willing to take the e file, but for that he's going to have to distract this rook from the e file. So he first takes the b file, rook to b1. Of course, black is trying to exchange rooks here, so rook b8 is what white kind of provokes black to play, and now he is taking the e file, and rook e8 is not possible anymore. So in this kind of playing the cat and mouse, Bacrot gets the open e file for his rook. Meanwhile, as we saw, the b file is not very useful for black, so this was a very important and very interesting, really cute positional maneuver to give black the useless b file and take the very useful e file for himself. This rook is now forced to d8, and as I said, this is a very useful e file now for white. Meanwhile, this black rook is on defensive tasks here, controlling the white passed pawn, and now Bacrot is going to use the open file very instructively. Rook e3, threatening these counter attacks against this queen. The queen goes to c1, but believe it or not, this game is already gone. It's already kind of over, because now, although there is a pin here, Now White's well-placed pieces pay off with tactical justifications, tactical motives. Now Queen h4, attacking both h5 and the vulnerable and unprotected rook on d8. F6 is what Black plays here. Maybe not the best move. Rook f8 it seems was better, but now when you have been playing so positionally, getting good squares for his pieces, good coordination, harmonious pieces, it in the 90% of cases pays off tactically, and now Bacrot can allow himself to play tactical, beautiful moves, sacrificing the bishop on f6, and taking it back would have been an absolute crime against Black king, because with this active rook and queen, this king is almost dead, so this would be almost a suicidal capture on f6 by Black. Black rather goes rook f8, trying to defend his kingside position, but now Bacrot is unstoppable. He takes on g7 with the bishop, sacrificing it entirely. King takes. Now after some checks, to take the h5 pawn as well. Back. There were a couple of ways of finishing the game, but a very beautiful one was using once again his well coordinated pieces and the bad coordination of Black pieces with a tactical motif. Rook e7, check, and discovered attack against Black's unprotected queen on c1, winning the queen this way, and of course the game. The rook and the bishop are no match for the queen and all these pawns in this position. So there it goes, a very beautiful, fine positional and both tactical and positional game by Etienne Bacrot, 27-20, a really strong, super elite class player from France, winning this game, and I believe the match for his team in this ninth round of the Tromsø Chess Olympiad.